What a place to be enjoying a cup of coffee. I'm out here in the Croatan National Forest, outpost 1822, and I'm enjoying my coffee. It's a beautiful morning. I'm getting ready to make some breakfast. You hungry? I know I am. So what do you say we move on over to the fire, and I'm going to cook me up some breakfast. Okay, my fire's burned down to coals. It's just right. Let's see what's in my food bag. Today, my food bag is a French Army gas mask bag. I paid like $5 for it. This is serious, like rubberized, I don't know what, but it's a real heavy duty bag. I got 3 of them. I use one for a fishing bag. I got one that I'm rigging up on a H-harness and a cartridge belt for like a day pack. And then this one here that I use for a food bag. It's got 2 side pockets. It's got some little things up there. And it's got plenty of room for a couple days worth of food. What am I going to cook today? Check this out. I got some cackle fruit. I have chickens in my backyard, so these are fresh chicken eggs. I'll be cooking some Spam up with that. Spam and eggs. I don't know why, but I just thought about that old Monty Python skit, the Spam skit. If you're old enough to know who Monty Python is, you'll probably laugh about that. Remember that old skit? Pretty funny. Alright, so I'm going to need some tools, dedicated food knife, and probably a spoon. Let's see what we got in here. This is just your standard issue old Boy Scout mess kit. Works great. Is it fancy? No. Is it expensive? No. I've had it a long time and it continues to work just fine for me, so I have no reason to not want to use it. Alright, and because I've been out here in the woods, a little hand sanitizer before I start cooking is not a bad idea. You certainly don't want to wash up in the river. It's a Blackwater river. Alright, let's see what we got in here. In here I got some oil, I got some hot sauce, I have some Mrs. Dash salt-free seasoning, and then of course I have some salt and pepper. Excellent. I can do this without making too much of a mess. Okie dokie, so I got that basically cubed up. I'm going to set that there on the fire. I'm going to put this right out where I can see it, because that is going to be hot here in a few seconds. Good enough. And for those of you that grew up on a farm, live on a farm, live in the country, have chickens or whatever, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but for those of you that don't, oh man, I got one cracked. Well, that's pretty good. 3 out of 4 survived. But this came from just a mutt chicken. She's mostly white rock. She's a petting chicken. She'll come right up to me, eat out of my hand, and I can scratch her back. She lays nice, big, brown eggs, as you can see. Nice, consistent brown eggs. And this one, it's cracked. It's probably good, but I don't know. I just know better, so that's probably hot enough. Let's put the Spam in there and get it cranking. Oh yeah. But yeah, I came out here. It was supposed to rain last night, and it didn't, because I was wanting to do a review on my tent, which happens to be a River Country Trekker 2.2 tent. It's just a pup tent. It's a true 5x7. It's not a little cut down version like a Boy Scout tent. And it's designed so you can set it up on a ridge line. You can set it up with homemade poles. You can use trekking poles. And I seen that tent and I was like, wow, that is the tent for me. And I had seen a couple YouTube reviews where people had set them up in their backyards. They hadn't actually tested them. So I saw them kind of like on, I guess, TV, you would say. And I was like, yeah, perfect. It's like an old military tent. And that's the tent for me. So I bought one. And then, and one of my deciding factors was, just besides the fact that it's a nostalgic, old school, easy to put up tent, the company is an American company. They're out west. They're in, I don't remember. It's either Washington or Oregon, but it's an American company. And wouldn't you know it, they had a bad production run. So some of these tents, they come out of the box leaking. So they're getting a really bad rap. So I decided to come out here and give you my opinion of the tent. And while I'm cooking breakfast here, the first thing I'd like to say is, never forget, it's a $50 tent, okay? It's not a $400 tent. It's not a $1,000 expedition tent. It's a $50 tent. And to me, common sense would tell you, when you buy a $50 tent, you know you're going to be waterproofing that. You know you're going to have to seal up the seams, and you're going to have to spray the sides to help waterproof it. I mean, that's just a given. I mean, I learned that when I was a Cub Scout. It was reinforced as a Weeblo, and it was like sunk into my head by the time I became a Boy Scout. When you have a tent, and you can look at any old Boy Scout manual or Cub Scout book, it's going to tell you waterproof your tent. And then it's going to say put a rain fly on top of that tent, and it's going to say use a ground cover. I mean, I understand if you're backpacking, you want to go as light as possible, but I'm not backpacking. I carry my gear from the motorcycle to the campsite, and that's usually about 5 damn feet. But common sense dictates the ground cloth. It's a vapor barrier. Plus, it will help protect the floor of your tent. Even if you do have a tent that has a nice heavy-duty floor like this one does, and most tents today do. But you got to use the ground cover for any tent. I don't care if it's a $1,000 tent. I'm still going to put a ground cover down. Now, I just use house wrap. You got a friend that's in construction? Whoops. I don't think the 3-second rule applies in the woods. If you got a friend in construction, it's not that hard for them to get you a piece that's, 5 feet by, mine's 5 feet by 9, for 5 feet by 10 feet. That way I got a 3-foot porch for muddy feet and whatnot. But, you just got to use that. And then the rain fly, well, why wouldn't you use a rain fly? I mean, it's just smart. That way you have a double layer of protection. Like I said, a rain fly, to me, that's just common sense to use one. So a lot of these reviews I'm seeing on YouTube, people are saying, well, it leaks. Well, no shit, snowflake, it's a $50 tent. But, so for less than $10, I've solved the problem on my tent, and I'm extremely happy with it. I don't use a ridge line. I don't use trekking poles. What I did was I found some surplus Swiss Army pup tent poles and stakes. Got a great deal on them. I paid, it was $17.99 for 4 poles, 16 stakes, and 4 bags to put the stuff in. Now me, I thought that was a great deal. Okay, those eggs are just about done. Because of the spam, I'm not going to be putting any salt on there. but I'm certainly going to put a little pepper on there. Man, that's looking good. And I got some water heating up for coffee. And this here, I believe this here is just about done. I'm going to let it cook just still just a little sloppy. And with the coffee, I'm going to be drinking it out of this new cup I got here. I'm trying it out. If it seems to be like a decent cup, I'm going to put my name on it and it'll be for sale, along with a few other things. As time rolls on, I will start hawking some merchandise with my name on it. What it's going to be, not sure yet, but I'll be selling some stuff. Definitely a camp mug for sure, and t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, that sort of thing. Maybe a hat. I don't know. But yeah, I will be selling some stuff in the future. Stuff I'm looking into it right now. Maybe a bumper sticker. I'm not sure yet. But man, don't that look good? It's just about done. Oh yeah, that's coming right along. That's going to be good. You know, it takes a lot longer when you're cooking on coals, but something to be said about cooking on a fire. I guess can't get much more manly than that, right? The only thing that would be more manly is if I found the eggs in the woods and they weren't rotten, and I killed a wild pig for the Spam. But I ain't quite that primitive. I'm a little more refined than that. But I'm going to call this done. I'm going to set that right there. Actually, right there. If I was to set that on the ground, you know it would get cold immediately. And this right here, we'll step that up just a little bit and put it in the middle there. Alright, so I'm about to eat these eggs, and I'm going to be washing it down with a Welch's Single. This is strawberry peach. You got a little cold water. It's not orange juice, but it's still cold and it's sweet. Yeah, good stuff. Let me get into these eggs here. Spam and eggs, cooked on an open fire out in the woods. Man, this is good. What do you think? You want some? It's good. Alrighty, so I finished up an awesome breakfast. I got the pan soaking on the side there. My water for coffee should be hot enough. I'm drinking Folgers today because that's all I had, but I am trying this new cup out, like I said earlier. And if it seems to be a decent cup and will take a little bit of banging around, I'll put my name on it. So today I'm making some Folgers, and I'm gonna put some brown sugar in it. The brown sugar will sweeten it up some. So let's see. Let's pour a little water in there. You know that joker's. And now for some brown sugar. About a spoon's worth. Now, and don't everybody have a heart attack. Coffee creamer. I don't like this stuff because if you've ever fooled around with this stuff, it burns. And if you've ever looked at the ingredients on the label, there's nothing on there you can pronounce. And you start Googling all that stuff and it's like, holy shit, and you actually expect me to put this in my body? Well, I'm doing it today. Yeah, I remember back in the day, in the sea rations we would get, there'd be a pack of sugar, there'd be a pack of this powdered creamer junk, and some Sanka coffee that basically tasted like dog nuts. So what we would do is you'd mix all that stuff up, I don't remember the exact ratio, and then you'd put it back in a foil pack and you'd hold a lighter to it and you'd start melting it, and if you did it just right, it tasted like a sugar cookie. Yeah, one of them back in the now, and the meal's ready to eat and whatnot. I mean, they put actual candy and stuff in there. In the old days, we had to make our own, but let's see what this tastes like. Still tastes like dog nuts. But it's coffee. I shouldn't be complaining. I mean, I'm out here in the National Forest. It's beautiful out here. Shouldn't really be complaining about anything. So I guess if the only thing I'm complaining about is my coffee, life is good today, ain't it? So, time to move back over to the chair. So, what do I think of this cup? Well, the coffee that's in it right now kind of stinks, but I think it's a good cup. The only thing I'm worried about is how long this handle will stay on there. If that looks like it'll take some abuse, I'll be putting my name on it. But I will get back to the tent review in a minute, but I just want some peace and quiet to enjoy my coffee and let that awesome breakfast digest. Now I got my pan back with some water in the pan, and I'll let that warm up a little bit and I'll scrub it out, and we'll move along. Okay, sorry to interrupt your mellow moment there sitting in the chair with me, but for some strange reason I lost the rest of the video. I don't know if the battery went dead, ran out of card, whatever. And so in today's take-home points are this. Breakfast was awesome. Instant Folgers coffee sucks. And the River Country two-man pup tent known as a Trekker 2.2, it's a good tent. You might have to fine-tune it, but it's a good tent. It works for me. Will it work for you? Maybe, maybe not. And so with that being said, let's ride on out of here and find another adventure. Want to come? Follow me. I know a shortcut.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit